आर्ट को डिफाइन करते हैं, आर्ट क्या होता है?
Significance value is 0.026. Now, if we consider this and straight away compare this p-value with 0.05, then it is significant, right? But it will test the null hypothesis. This is two-tailed significance, so we have to convert it to one-tailed value. So first of all, we will find the one-tailed value. One-tailed value is two-tailed value divided by 2. 0.026 divided by 2, that is 0.013. It is still less than 1.05. Therefore, it is significant. Now, this value is significant. So, should we reject the null hypothesis and accept the directional hypothesis? No. No. Why? Because first of all, we will have to see whether the direction of the mean rank, the mean ranks in the same direction as stated by the directional hypothesis or opposite. So mean ranks are here, positive ranks are 6.44, which is greater than the mean rank of mean negative rank of negative differences, 4. So this is precisely what was stated in the directional hypothesis. Therefore, both the conditions are satisfied. The one-tailed p-value, that is 0.013, is less than 0.05 significance level, and the mean ranks are also in the same direction as predicted in the directional hypothesis. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis and retain the directional hypothesis. So only difference is in, okay, you must also see that this minus sign says that it is based on this rank, smaller rank, 8. 8 is the smaller. If it were 58, then this Z would have been plus 2.226. So I come to again presentation. See again, mean ranks of positive differences is significantly greater than the mean rank of negative differences when pre-scores are subtracted from the post-scores. This is what this does say. And that means post-participation minus pre-participation is greater than 0, or difference pre-participation minus post-participation is less than 0. Same thing. These are the output. Now, okay, I have used, I think, this related sample option. I have used related sample option. This uses 58, the greater one. Okay, let me interpret this. Table 7 reveals that the Wilcoxon test statistics is 58. I worked out the legacy option, but this output is based on the related sample option. Now let us take this as an exercise and also try to interpret this. That legacy option already I have explained. So related sample Wilcoxon sign rank test. Now, this is total and 11. Test statistics is 58. And standardized test means Z is 2.226. Now, because this is plus, therefore, this 58 is the bigger sum. So, a smaller sum will have to be calculated. This is post minus pre. Post participation minus pre participation. Positive differences are more, 9, negative 2. There is no difference in the output of the legacy dialog and this. Now, Table 7 reveals that Wilcoxon test statistics is 58.00 and the value of Z is 2.226. The one-tailed p-value is 0.026 divided by 2, that is 0.013, which is less than 0.05. Thus significant at 0.05 level of significance. So first we checked the significance, one-tailed value, significance of one-tailed value. So we saw that it is significant. Next, we will examine if the observed mean ranks are stated as in the directional hypothesis. For this, we have to make calculation. Since Z is greater than 0, Z is positive, the larger sum of rank is 58, arising out of positive differences n is equal to 9. This means the rank of positive differences is 58 divided by 9 is equal to 6.44. See, we do not know from that output whether this 58 is sum of positive rank or sum of negative rank. Legacy option dialog tells you that this particular sum is of positive ranks or negative ranks. Now to find out, we use this sign of Z because Z is positive. Therefore, this is the bigger sum. And the more number of ranks are positive ranks, numbering 9. So this is the sum of that positive rank. And if we divide by 9, you get the mean rank. Now, sum of total rank is 11 into 12 by 2, 66. If we subtract 58 from 66, we get 8. Therefore, sum of negative ranks, the other sum is 66 minus 58 is equal to 8. And next is the mean rank is 8 divided by 2 because there are just 2 negative ranks. So the 2 ranks have been worked out. So the mean rank of positive differences 6.444 is significantly greater than the mean rank of negative differences, that is 4. So in the first step, we observed that the value of t is significant at 0.05 level of significance. And in this second step, we observed that the positive differences, mean rank of positive differences is significantly greater than the mean rank of negative differences. This is how we hypothesized. This is how we stated in our directional hypothesis. So by taking these two into consideration, we are now in a position to reject null hypothesis. Since Wilcoxon test statistics is significant and direction is as per directional hypothesis, direction of what? Direction of the mean rank. The order of the mean rank is same as predicted in the directional hypothesis. Therefore, null hypothesis is rejected in favor of the directional hypothesis. So this is how one-tailed test is interpreted. Now, this is the last of the points to be covered, that is effect size and how to interpret the effect size of this. Effect size for Wilcoxon test. It's a very simple formula for effect size. The effect size is again in terms of correlation. So effect size is R defined as Z divided by under root 2n, where n is the sample size. So if you want to find out the effect size for Wilcoxon test, you must know what is the Z value. Z value may either be in positive with positive sign or with negative sign. So drop the negative sign because we take absolute values, absolute value of Z, and n is the sample size. For example, in this case, n was 11. So we are multiplying it by 2, where n is the sample size. Now in the last example, table 7, the value of Z is 2.226 and n is 11. Therefore, the effect size is 2.226 divided by 2 multiplied by 11, that is 22. So square root of 22 is 4.69. So 2.226 divided by 4.69 is 0.474. Now we interpret this in the same manner. The effect size being greater than 0.3. You remember the interpretation Cohen guidelines: 0.1 small, 0.3 medium, 0.5 large. These are the guidelines. So it does not reach 0.5. So it is medium. Thus the effect size being greater than 0.3 but less than 0.5 can be termed as medium. Hence, the success of the treatment in increasing student participation has been medium. This is all for today. Now I come to a few exercises, practice exercises, 2 or 3. Now this is first example. Pre and post practice errors in beard drawing. In beard course, there is a practical, psychology practical, we have mirror drawing. So in mirror drawing, students are pre-tested and their errors are noted. Then after giving them practice, say 20 trials, then they are again given a test and their errors are noted. So we expect that the errors will reduce. Average number of errors earlier will be less than the average number of errors later. Now state and test directional hypothesis from the output below. This is the output given. You have to first state and then test directional hypothesis. This is one. I have data with this also. These are pre-practice errors and these are post-practice errors. So if we subtract post-practice from pre-practice, post-practice from pre-practice, I am subtracting post-practice from pre-practice. Now here it is -4. Subtracting 41 from 45, 4. So there are some positive differences and some negative differences. So what is the null hypothesis that I should make? If I subtract post from pre, positive differences, mean rank of positive difference should be more or mean rank of negative difference should be more. Because we want post-practice scores to be smaller than the pre-practice scores. Why? Because we want to reduce errors. These are number of errors. We want to reduce errors. We have given them practice to reduce the errors. Therefore, when after practice they are tested again for errors, we must have less number of errors. Therefore, when we subtract post from pre, we should have more positive differences. More positive differences would mean earlier they had more errors and now they have less errors. So this is positive, 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 positive are more, negative are less. So our hypothesis, directional hypothesis is that mean ranks of errors, mean ranks of positive errors should be greater than the mean ranks of negative errors when post errors are subtracted from the pre errors. This should be the directional hypothesis, and it has to be tested via this. This is post practice minus pre practice. Here it is opposite. Post practice minus pre practice. It has subtracted pre from post. See, when I conducted the test, then it subtracted pre from post. I wrote post in second place and pre in the first place. Therefore, it subtracted pre score from the post scores. While I was talking the other way around. So Z is this minus 1.729. Significance total is 0.084. And this is the summary of ranks post minus pre. Negative ranks are 10. Positive ranks are 4. So mean rank is 8, negative rank, and mean positive rank is 6.25. So how to interpret it? Now, what is this is one till test. So first of all, we will have to see whether this is significant or not. So for this, we have to calculate. Okay, this is practice exercise 2. Practice exercise 1. Firstly, we have to see whether it is significant or not. So one-tailed significance is half of this, 0.0044. It is significant. So first part is over. The value of this is significant. Next is whether the order is same. Because it has reversed this, positive ranks becomes negative, negative becomes positive. So essentially, what we predicted in the directional hypothesis still holds good. Why? Because pre-practice scores are greater than the post-practice scores. Post-practice scores are less. Therefore, we can reject null hypothesis and maintain the directional hypothesis. Because now the negative ranks are higher than the positive ranks. And here we have reversed the order in subtracting. So it means the same thing. Then we have this another exercise, pre and post creativity. Calculate mean ranks of positive and negative differences. Okay. This is the exercise which we did. We have this data, and this is legacy dialog option, first part. Test statistics is 33. The value of Z is 2.103. So this is positive. Therefore, this 33 is the bigger sum, larger sum. Therefore, we have to find the smaller sum. The smaller sum can be found out by subtracting this 33 from the total sum. Total sum will be n is equal to 8. 8 into 9 by 2, 72 by 2, 36. So total of the sum of positive and sum of negative ranks is see this sign is positive. Okay, Z is positive. If Z is positive, this is the bigger sum. 33 is the bigger sum. So there are two sums, two t's, t plus and t minus. We don't know whether it is t plus or t minus, but this is one of the t's. T plus and t minus. Now this is 33 and total number of sample size is 8. So total जो sum है t plus or t minus adds up to 8 into 9 by 2. 8 into 9 by 2. 2 for the 8, 9 for the 36. So total of these two will be 36. Total of these two is 36. So subtract this 33 from 36, the other sum is 3. I have given you the data. From this data, we can find out the number of positive ranks and number of negative ranks. Divide that this sum by that number, we will get the mean ranks. So you will get to know the mean ranks. Now this is the compute effect size for Wilcoxon test from table 10 and interpret it. Where is table 10? Let us go back to table 10. This is table 10. Now this is 2.103. Z is we can find out Z from that table, and then N is 8. So Z divided by 16 under root. 16 under root. 8 multiplied by 2. Z is 2.103. Z is 2.103. So we have 2.103, 2.103 divided by 4. So this is 0.5, 0.5, 4 5s are 20, 20, 10, 10, 4 to the 8, 23, 4, 6 are 24, 0.526. Effect size is 0.526. That means we have a large effect size because 0.5 is 0.5 and more is the large effect size. Therefore, this whatever it is, this data will tell what it is. It has been successful. So thus we conclude today's session and now open it for any question, query, or discussion. Host, please, over to the host. Dr. Gupta.
Yes, sir.
Over to you for any question, discussion.
In a paired sample t-test, effect size becomes 4.13. Is it acceptable?
Pardon? Yeah, what you are saying?
In a paired sample t-test, effect size becomes 4.13. Is it acceptable?
4.13.
Okay.
Yes, it can be.
Okay.
It is possible. Huge, huge. If effect size is greater than 1.2, even then it is possible.
Okay.
See, it is not between 0 and 1 always. All correlation, even all correlations are not between 0 and 1.
I have unmuted
No,
all.
Effect size can be greater than 1.
Okay. I have
Sir, I have
unmuted
one
all.
question.
Hello, may I audible?
Yes, audible.
Sir, any condition for the minimum sample for the Wilcoxon test?
Just wait, please. Gawande, please speak.
Sir, any condition for the minimum sample for this test?
Actually, it is 5 or 6. You can see, you can check it from the table of critical values of T. That will give you an idea. It is either 5 or 6. And it also depends on level of significance.
Sir, another one question is that, sir, we use almost Z value.
You just go to the critical value of T and find out where there is no critical value is given. That means that is below the level of critical value of sample size. It should be more than that.
Okay, sir.
Next question.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, I have one question. How to test the hypothesis?
Yes, please speak.
Sir, how to test hypothesis?
Hmm?
Sir, how to test hypothesis?
How to make hypothesis?
Test, sir. How to test?
How to test hypothesis?
Yes, sir.
Which hypothesis?
Sir, null hypothesis. Null hypothesis, sir.
Your question is not, it is not clear. How to test null hypothesis means what? Null hypothesis is tested by means of a two-tailed test. One answer is this. Null hypothesis is tested by means of a two-tailed test. And I don't know what do you mean when you ask how the null hypothesis is tested. One is that you want to go to the basics of null hypothesis testing. This is one. Another is which kind of test is used for testing the null hypothesis. Your question can mean anything. Ranjan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What
Sir,
do you want?
Sir, actually, my question is that how to test null hypothesis?
See, null hypothesis says that the differences are zero. That the test value is zero. But in actuality, test value is never zero. Test value may be +1, test value may be -1, test value may be 0.7, -0.3. So test value is say maybe around zero.
Okay, sir.
How deviant it is from zero? How much deviation should be tolerated? That is, how much deviation will be considered not significant? This is what essentially we are answering when we are testing null hypothesis.
Okay, sir.
hypothesis कहाँ test करना है?
This much difference can arise out of sampling fluctuation. See, I will give an example. Suppose you take two lots. One lot contains chits having 1 to 10 number written on them. Another box, again 1 to 10 numbers written over the chits. So these are the two populations, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. Their mean is 5.5. This means also 5.5. Total is 55. 55 divided by 10 is 5.5. So the population means are same. But suppose you take a sample of 4 from this box and sample of 5 from this box. So you will not get, and you find mean. The mean will not be 5.5 on this side and 5.5 on this side. Mean may be 3 here and 7 here. The difference of 4. But this difference is due to taking sample of 4 and 5. This difference is not the difference in the population. Difference in the population is 0. 5.5 and 5.5. You get my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So supposing these populations have same mean, even then, when you draw sample from these populations, the difference can be different from 0. But that does not mean that population do not have 0 difference. This is basically what we are testing.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next question, please.
Lalita Shiva Kumar is asking if the assumptions of parametric test are not satisfied, we go for non-parametric test. What if the assumptions of non-parametric test is also not satisfied? Then
एक शेर है, हिंदी में सुना रहा हूँ कि निकल कर आवाज से अगर मिलता ना मैखाना, भाई निकल कर दैरों का आवाज से जो भगवान ने नहीं सुनी तो भाई वहां चला गया मैखाने में, अगर मैखाना भी ना सुने तो कहाँ जाए? तो बेसिकली ये सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, है ना
जी?
देखिए, और जो टेस्ट हैं जो कि इससे कमजोर हैं, जो इससे कम एजम्पशंस की डिमांड करते हैं, वो लगाएंगे। जैसे टेस्ट है मान विटनी टेस्ट है, अगर वो नहीं लग रहा, ये वाला जो टेस्ट है, सॉरी विल्कोक्सन टेस्ट है, अगर इसकी एजम्पशन पूरी नहीं हो रही तो इससे जो कमजोर टेस्ट है वो लगाएंगे। इससे कमजोर टेस्ट है साइन टेस्ट है, साइन टेस्ट, या हम ये देखेंगे कि साइन जो है प्लस हो रहा है कि माइनस हो रहा है। जैसे हमने देखा था ना, काई स्क्वायर की अगर एजम्पशन पूरी नहीं हो रही, if the assumption of chi-square is not met, then we use the binomial test. If there are just two categories or likelihood ratio or this, so there are alternatives. There are tests which are having less potency, but still they will work. बिल्कुल सही सही सवाल था, गुड क्वेश्चन।
यहाँ पर मैं एक बात और भी कोट करना चाहूंगा, आप सभी लोगों का ध्यान आकृष्ट करूंगा।
हाँ, सुना नहीं
एक बात मैं भी कहना चाहता हूं सर यहाँ पे।
हाँ हाँ, बोलिए ना, बोलिए।
कि एक अभी तक ट्रेंड बना हुआ था कि हम टेस्ट क्या यूज करेंगे, ये पहले से हम एक डिजाइन बना लेते थे अपने माइंड में। हम कन्वेंशनल मोड में फिक्स कर लेते थे अभी तक कि हमको टी टेस्ट लगाने हैं, हमको एनोवा लगाना है, हमें एनकोवा यूज करना है। और जब भी हम रिसर्च वर्क अपना स्टार्ट करते थे,
नहीं करना है और फिर उसको ये नहीं देखना आगा पीछा कि ये होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए, और अपना करना है तो कर दिया।
तो बस यही हम अभी तक करते आ रहे थे।
कल के जो मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन है उसमें आपको बताऊंगा मैं कि रिसर्च में कितने लोग क्या कर रहे हैं। ये ऐसा है कि एक आपको एक वो दूंगा, आई बर्ड्स व्यू।
तो इसी ट्रेडिशन को ब्रेक करने के लिए हमने ये प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किया था। ये जो एक बना हुआ सिस्टम था कि हमने ये फिक्स कर लिया कि हमने तो टी टेस्ट लगाने हैं अपने काम में, हमको एनोवा यूज करना है, लेकिन कौन सा टेस्ट कहाँ पर एप्रोप्रिएट है और किस टेस्ट के एजम्पशन हम फुलफिल कर रहे हैं, कायदे से हमको वही काम करना चाहिए।
प्रमोद सर, एक
जी
क्वेश्चन है।
जी
हेलो।
हाँ बिल्कुल शमीम मैम, बोले।
जी सर, नमस्कार सर। सर
नमस्कार।
है कि
हाँ जी शमीम जी।
जी सर। सर जितने भी क्वेश्चन, जितने भी टेस्ट आपने बताए,
आवाज थोड़ी बढ़ाओ, सुनाई नहीं पड़ रहा।
मैं दोहरा दूंगा सर, प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
हेलो जी सर।
हाँ शमीम मैम बोलिए।
जितने भी टेस्ट आपने स्टैटिस्टिकल्स बताए, उसमें एक असम्पशन कॉमन है, रेंडमाइजेशन। बट सर अगर पर्पसिव सैंपलिंग है तो क्या हम डायरेक्ट नॉन पैरामेट्रिक पे जा सकते हैं या वहां भी असम्पशंस चेक करके ही हम टेस्ट सिलेक्ट करेंगे?
सर इनका कहना है कि एक कॉमन एजम्पशन है रैंडमाइजेशन।
हाँ,
और यदि सी चूज पर्पसिव सैंपलिंग देन तब भी यही काम हमें करना होगा।
हाँ हाँ
अगर ये रैंडमाइजेशन की बजाय पर्पस सैंपलिंग में जाती हैं
हम्म।
तो क्या वहां एजम्पशन के लेवल पे कुछ चेंज होगा?
देखिए ये वही जिसे कहते हैं ना, ये वैसा सवाल है कि मछली पहले आएगी अंडा पहले आया, इस तरह की चीज है ये। क्योंकि हर टेस्ट की जो एजम्पशन है वो रेंडमाइजेशन है, ये सही है, ठीक है। और रेंडमाइजेशन जो है ना, जिस तरीके से रेंडमाइजेशन डिफाइन किया जाता है उस तरीके से रेंडमाइजेशन संभव ही नहीं है, ठीक। तो क्या करें?
जी सर।
randomization, complete randomization is not possible in human world, even in non-human world। वो लिया कि आपके खेत में मैं वो अपना पौधा लगा के देखूं, तो आप तो मुझे खेत दोगे ही नहीं। हालांकि खेत कुछ नहीं कह रहा, पर खेत तो आपका है, आप मना कर दोगे मेरे को। हेलो, आदमियों के वर्ड में तो छोड़िए आप। तो इसलिए रेंडमाइजेशन कंप्लीट रेंडमाइजेशन जो है अपने यहाँ ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड में संभव नहीं है। लेकिन हम लोग कोशिश क्या करने कोशिश करते हैं कि रेंडमाइजेशन जिस हद तक हो पाए उतना हद तक, जितना संभव हो उतने हद तक हम करते हैं। जैसे मान लीजिए हम सब्जेक्ट रेंडमाइजेशन नहीं कर रहे, तो हम जो ग्रुप्स हैं, इंटैक्ट ग्रुप्स हैं, उन्हें रेंडमाइज तरीके से ले लें। हम स्कूल रेंडमाइज तरीके से सेलेक्ट कर लें। स्कूल रेंडमाइज तरीके से नहीं करे, तब हम जो असाइनमेंट है स्टेटमेंट का, वो रेंडमाइजेशन तरीके से कर लें। हम बायस को हटाने की कोशिश करें, हम समूहों को बराबर लगभग बनाने की कोशिश करें, सब चीजों में ऐसा ध्यान तो रख सकते हैं हम। तो ऑल दो प्योर रेंडमाइजेशन, 100% रेंडमाइजेशन, अगर 100% रेंडमाइजेशन हो जाए बिल्कुल ठीक, तो एन कोआ कुछ लगाने की जरूरत ही नहीं, सब कुछ बराबर हो जाएगा। तो
यस
हम
सर।
वी कैन, मतलब दिस इज एन आइडियल, वी कैन अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स द आइडियल, बट वी नेवर रीच एट द आइडियल। Ideals are never fulfilled, but we
शम,
can always try to be as close to the ideal as possible, and there are ways to come close to the।
शमीम शमीम मैम की इस बात से मुझे एक बात और भी याद आती है कि जैसे हम कहीं कहीं यूज करते हैं कंट्रोल ग्रुप और एक्सपेरिमेंटल ग्रुप। तो ये ग्रुप हम जब अपने सैंपल में बनाते हैं तो हम कहते भले ही हैं कंट्रोल ग्रुप और एक्सपेरिमेंटल, लेकिन क्या कंट्रोल उस दौरान में कुछ भी नहीं सीखता है? तो
नहीं नहीं,
जैसे
वो ठीक है सर, बट हमने सिलेक्शन ही पर्पजिव मेथड से किया है। हमारा सैंपलिंग टेक्निक ही पर्पजिव है। इस कंडीशन की बात करिए सर।
तो उस कंडीशन में मेरे ख्याल से फिर रैंडमाइजेशन की जरूरत ही नहीं है, जो कि सर कह रहे हैं।
बट सर फिर वो अजम्पशन चेक नहीं होगा, फिर डायरेक्ट नॉन पैरामेट्रिक पे चले जाएंगे।
हेलो
या पहले
हेलो, मैं एक बात जोड़ना चाहता हूँ, सॉरी
हाँ
फॉर
बिल्कुल,
डिस्टर्बिंग।
बिल्कुल सुनील जी।
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि मैडम जो कह रही है कि प्रोपोर्शनल सैंपल,
हम्म
तो प्रोपोर्शनल सैंपल को भी तो हम रेंडमाइज कर सकते हैं। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल
नहीं नहीं,
हम
उनका उनका कहना ये है कि हम रैंडमाइजेशन में तो गए ही नहीं।
नहीं, ऐसा है,
हम्म
प्लीज प्लीज लिसन, these are the questions which should better be addressed to Dr. D.N. Sansaman, not to Dr. S.K. त्यागी। ये रिसर्च के सवाल हैं आपके, जो सवाल आप पूछ रहे हैं ज्यादातर, ये अपने जो संसनवाल साहब वाले जो वर्कशॉप में है वहां पूछिए।
नहीं, आप अपना जवाब बिल्कुल बखूब दे चुके हैं कि जहाँ रैंडमाइजेशन हमने यूज ही नहीं किया है तो फिर वहाँ वो एजम्पशन हम चेक भी नहीं करेंगे। ये बिल्कुल अपने आप में फिट बात है। और जैसा कि आपने कहा कि कंप्लीट रैंडमाइजेशन पॉसिबल नहीं है, जैसा कि मैं भी आपको कंट्रोल और एक्सपेरिमेंटल में भी बता रहा था। एक नया क्वेश्चन हमारे सामने आया है और वो पूछ रही है कि what are the different tests that can be used if the relation is not linear? What are the different tests that can be used if the relation is not linear? Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I audible?
Fine, then let us break for the day. See you tomorrow.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, ललिता ही एक क्वेश्चन another question पूछ रही है. She is asking another question.
जी, जी,
What are the different tests that can be used if the relation is not linear?
What is this? What is the research situation? What situation is there?
She is not explaining the situation.
What situation is there? Which test, alternative of which test she is asking? But
Lalita, are you listening me?
there are coefficient of relation, correlation
Hello?
other than linear
Yes.
also. Other than linear.
Hello. Good
Yes,
evening,
Lalita.
sir. Good
Yes,
evening,
ma'am.
sir.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
my question is, here in parametric test, we assume that the relation between the variable is linear and then we go forward. In case if the relation is not linear, if it is curvilinear or something else, then in that case, what are the different options or different tests which are available which we could try?
I think, well, I do not know, I can't mention the name of any such test, but I believe there are regression analysis based on, say, curvilinear relationship also, but I have not come across that. I can't say.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
सर एक क्वेश्चन और है सर.
बोलो बोलो.
जी सर. सर अगर प्री टेस्ट और पोस्ट टेस्ट में ये विल्कोम्सन में टेस्ट में ही प्री टेस्ट स्कोर्स और पोस्ट टेस्ट स्कोर्स में डिफरेंस 0 है, तो उसका रैंक सर काउंट होगा या नहीं होगा?
अगर प्री टेस्ट पोस्ट
रैंक देंगे या नहीं?
डिफरेंस 0 है तो ऐसी उसको हम अपने एनालिसिस से निकाल देते हैं. सच पेयर्स आर ड्रॉप्ड.
उसे निकाल ही देंगे सर.
हाँ, वो
जी सर.
ड्रॉप कर देते हैं. जैसा अभी देखा था ना आपने, 23 सैंपल साइज था, 2 टाई थे जिसमें प्री टेस्ट पोस्ट टेस्ट स्कोर सेम है, तो उसको हटा देते हैं.
जी सर. थैंक यू सर.
Anyone have another question? Please raise here. Hello. Hello.
Yes, please.
I hope we have not any question to raise here, so that we can sum up. Okay.
Okay, जी.
And many thanks to you, sir, and many thanks to all participants. We will meet again tomorrow at the same time. Okay.